This is absolutely one of the biggest questions that we get, and that's how to stay injury free and improve your pace when it comes to your running journey. So, over the next 3 minutes, we're going to deep dive this, and I'm going to give you some of the things that I use with our online athletes and face to face athletes that enables them to do so. Why most runners get faster then get injured. So one of the biggest things that we see, especially in this current running craze at the moment, is people are just adding mileage, kilometers, absolutely everything. They're bumping up their running volume so quickly that we know that the body can't obviously keep up. We also know that when you add in two mediums or hard runs in your week, it's going to be a lot more harder to recover off the back of that. So that's why we always recommend building that base first with easy runs and then sprinkling those medium and harder intensity runs on top. Doing random sessions is an absolute killer. So we need to make sure that we're always thinking about what's next. The session that you're doing right now has a purpose. What is that purpose? And how am I able to complete my next session if I do this session right now? So having that kind of forward thinking and being a couple of steps ahead with your running journey is going to help you stay injury free and also enable you to continue to progress all the way through. And then obviously following someone else's plan that's not made for you is an absolute killer. We know that everyone is so different in regards to how they move their body, how their body recovers, that you need a specific plan for yourself. So when we have those kind of short-term goals, we know that often leads to overload, it leads to injury, and then we reset, and then we're at the starting point once again. When it comes to improving pace, plateaus come from a few different things. So we know that when the training load increases faster than what the body can adapt and recover, we're going to hit this little plateau at some stage. All right. When you're thinking about, again, bumping up that intensity, bumping up that volume, adding another session into your running week, we can obviously hit that wall pretty quickly and just stop right there. One of the biggest things is not doing any strength work. Now, strength is not for everyone. I completely understand that, but the gym is going to be our ally when it comes to our running journey, or setting aside 20 to 30 minutes once or twice a week at home doing dedicated gym work, calf raises, squats, lunges, anything for the groin, the calves, hip flexors, anything like that that's going to help us stay injury free is going to be really, really vital. We also have our poor intensity distribution. And all that means is, I've already touched on it, some two hard sessions and two medium, those sessions that, are probably pushing the limit of, can your body adapt? We know those ones can obviously set us back and we need more time to recover. And if we can't bounce back, it's pretty hard to come out of that little hole unless we take some significant time off. And then we have no system for tracking progress and fatigue. So that's why we need some periodized plans, and periodization, all that special little famous word is essentially just a long-term plan. So what's week 1, what's week 2, what's week 3, what's week 4? What does that look like? Are you constantly building for 3 weeks and then you're having a deload week? Are you building for 5 and then a deload week? Are you tapering? Are you having some different things around main events that you need to think about? It is very rarely that you are not working hard enough. It's often something to do with the planning and the execution of those runs that are the biggest contributors. So let's talk about the 3-part injury-free formula. So when we have an injury, we need to make sure that the progressive load is there. So, and what that looks like is kilometers and intensity and frequency with your running. So how many sessions, how hard are the sessions, how long are those sessions across your week? If you're coming off an injury, we want to step you, crawl you to more significant runs. Then obviously strength matched to what you're currently doing. If you're running once, I recommend 1 gym session or strength session per week. If you're running more than 3 times, we're thinking probably about 2 gym sessions or strength sessions per week. And then we can obviously play around with all those extras, the activation and mobility, the stretching, all those different extra sessions are really important as well. And then our third part of this formula is our intensity zones. So how hard are we working? Are we having days of high intensity, low intensity, high intensity? Are we stacking the front of our week? Are we having more low intensity coming into the weekend when we do our longer runs? All these different types of things, the things that we need to think about to come back from injury and also stay that injury free. Why do generic plans fail? So simple. It's when plans are made for the masses and they're not dedicated to you. We know that obviously there's so much happening in your own life that those plans just don't account for it. They don't account for lack of sleep the night before a big run that's planned. They're not accounting for the fact that you couldn't get your 4 or 5 meals in the day before because work was busy or the family had something come up. So they don't adjust to your life. They ignore your injury history. If you're constantly coming up with calf issues, they're obviously ignoring that fact that maybe some of that work, once you get to 20 kilometers a week and you always get injured and regress, they don't allow for that nice progression to happen past that. They don't adapt to your fatigue. Again, if you've woken up sore, tired, you get to the session and you're like, I just don't know if I can do this. There's no way that those generic plans can kind of allow you to do that. And then they also assume that everyone's perfect and that you're just going to be able to bounce back the next day or 2 days later and be able to complete that session as prescribed, which we know just never happens. So what actually works? Well, to be successful in your running journey, you need a plan built around your schedule. So family, work, life, sleep schedule, when do you eat, a plan that takes all of that into account is going to really, really help you get to where you want to in your running journey. We know that we need to make weekly adjustments where a quick message to a coach, they can obviously adjust on the fly. Hey, coach, I'm feeling pretty beat up right now. I'm supposed to do this interval session. What do you think? And that's where the coach gets back to you and says, maybe not today. Let's drop it to some tempo work or some easy little flush runs instead. Again, strength programmed around running and your injury history is going to be really important. So we know that we need to make sure that they match up. We're not absolutely cooking legs right before a hard run. So those two need to sync in as well. And then obviously clear pacing targets. The more that we run and the more that we run with a coach watching our times and how our body progresses, the more that coach and I know how your body needs to move to get that physiological outcome that we're training for. So again, running is built, it is not forced. If you want this done properly, this is exactly what we do inside our one-to-one online coaching program. We've worked with thousands of athletes over the last decade. It's all about finding what works for you, making those adjustments when we need to. We build the injury prevention right into the program. You'll get access to absolutely every mobility, strength, activation guide that you need, how to warm up properly right before your runs. And then the most important thing is to have a coach there to talk to and to support you through your running journey. Nice and simple. Being able to work with someone who's in your corner constantly and is trying to get you along, whether that's that finish line or a set distance, making sure that coach is there with you all along that journey is really, really important. And it's also a very special thing that makes my job as a coach really, really cool. So if you are interested in any online running coaching or more information, please book a phone call with me and we'll be able to chat through everything. Thanks.